back to the Cockpit Yogi. Today I want to share with you a beginner to intermediate yoga practice. So just take things at your own pace. If you prefer to come to your knees in plank position, then do so. Listen to your body and be mindful of any existing injuries. With that said, come to your mat and let's get started. So I'd like you to begin in a comfortable seated position at the top of your mat, making sure your vertebrae are stacked one on top of the other. Nice straight spine, nice tall position. And just start to bring your awareness to your own breath. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Don't force your breath, just become aware. And as you start to become aware of your breath, try to make your exhale slightly longer than your inhale. And just breathe out. Now try to bring your breath in through your nose and also out through your nose, but making a roaring sound in the back of your throat as you exhale. Almost like you're exasperated, but actually creating a welcome release. Just listen to the roar at the back of your throat as you breathe out through your nose. So in yoga, this type of breathing is called our Ujjayi breath. This is the type of breathing that we prefer to use throughout our practice, if possible. Don't worry if you forget. Just use your breath as your anchor to bring your mind back to a state of calm, a state of feeling present. So I'm going to help you begin to warm up the body here. So just raise your right arm up, take it to your left ear and gently lower your head to your right shoulder. Just feeling a nice stretch down the left-hand side of the neck. And remember to breathe. Bring your head back to center. Raise your left arm up, take it to your right ear and lower your ear to your left shoulder. And just relax the jaw. Relax the facial muscles. Come back to center and then just rotate your head down towards your chest, out to the left, down again towards your chest, out to the right. And just repeat this a few times at your own pace. Come back to center. Now just roll your shoulders to the front of your mat, just creating movement, mobilizing the shoulders and the upper arms and the upper back. And then reverse the direction, rotate the shoulders backwards, keeping the hands on the knees. Take your arms out in front of you and just take some rotations with your wrists. Doesn't matter which direction. You might hear some cracking and clicking, and that's completely normal. And then just reverse the direction. Take your right arm across the body. Just hold on to your upper arm for a nice stretch down the arm. Shake it off and take the left arm across the body. And remember to breathe. release the arm here and just place your hands back on your knees and just start to take some gentle rotations, opening up the back, opening up the hips. Come back to center, reverse the direction. Try to keep your sit bones rooted firmly on the floor. And come back to center. Take hold of your right wrist and keeping yourself rooted firmly on the mat, just lean your body over to the left side, feeling a lovely stretch down the right hand side of your body. Hold. Come back to center. Take hold of your left wrist and lean to the right hand side, feeling that lovely stretch on the opposite side, remembering to keep both sit bones rooted on the floor. Come back to center, lower your hands down. Now I'd like you to come to all fours position. We're just going to start to gently warm up our back. So this is called cat-cow positions. So first of all, I'd like you to take a deep inhale and just dip your belly downwards and roll the shoulders back, looking straight ahead. On an exhale, I'd like you to do the opposite, just arching your back up like an angry cat. Feeling that lovely stretch across the upper back. And then inhale, release back down into cow pose. And just work through a few of these at your own pace. Remembering to exhale as you come back into cat. And remembering to inhale as you dip down into cow. If it feels good for you, you can start to just make some circles with the spine. Just creating some movement in the body. And when you're ready, reverse the direction. So I'd like you to lift your right leg up behind you and just circle the ankle, just to warm up the ankles. Lower the knee back down, raise the left leg, circle the ankle. You might also hear some clicking, and that's totally fine. Just come to a kneeling position. From here, we're going to come to a standing position at the top of our mat. So even though it looks like we're just standing still here, this is actually an active and engaged pose. It's called mountain pose. I'd like you to root down firmly through your feet, tuck your tailbone under, open your palms out towards the front of the room. Just take a deep breath in, make sure your spine is nice and straight. Imagine an invisible thread pulling your head upwards from above. And just find your balance here, find your center, and breathe. On your next inhale, I'd like you to lower yourself down into chair position. Exhale, come to forward fold. Now just relax in this forward fold. You don't have to have your legs straight, you can have a slight micro bend in the knees. Whatever makes it easier for your tummy to fall closer to your thighs. If it feels good for you, you can take your opposite elbows into ragdoll and just let your whole body just hang down. Let your head just hang down. Then nod your head for yes. Shake your head for no. Just release any tension in the neck and spine. Just let yourself hang. On your next inhale, come to halfway lift. So this means just bringing your hands further up your legs and just finding a nice straight spinal position. Exhale, step back into plank. You You can come to your knees here if you prefer. And then lower yourself down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here in downward dog. Don't worry too much about getting your heels to the floor. This is your first downward dog of the practice. So if it feels good for you, you can just begin to walk out your dog here. So just lower your right heel to the floor and bend your left knee, and then just lower your left heel to the floor, bend your right knee. And just keep working like this and working with your breath. Just gently stretching out the back of the legs. Remembering to keep your gaze in between your feet. You don't want any strain on the neck. On your next inhale, I'd like you to step the right foot in between the hands, lowering the left heel, and just sweep the arms up either side of the ears into warrior one. And take a couple of breaths here, just to make sure you're in the correct position. Make sure your knee is stacked over your ankle. Make sure your hip bones are facing forward. And just breathe. On your next exhale, lower the hands either side of the foot and step back into plank position. Lower yourself through chaturanga or to your knees. Inhale into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And just take a couple of breaths here. You can continue to walk out your dog, whatever feels good for you. On your next inhale, raise your left foot up and step the foot forward between the hands. You're going to sweep your arms up again into warrior one. Just take a moment to adjust yourself, adjust your alignment. And on your next exhale, lower the hands either side of the foot and step back again into plank. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just relax and take a few breaths here. On your next inhale, step both feet forward between the hands and come to a halfway lift, nice straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. You can come back to your ragdoll position again and just let your spine just fall loose. And maybe you'll find that your elbows are getting slightly closer to the floor than they did on the first one. And just breathe. Relax your jaw. Relax your face. On your next inhale, I'd like you to sweep your arms up either side of your ears into chair position. In chair position, your feet are close together, your tailbone is tucked under, your shoulders are engaged, every part of you is engaged, your fingers, everything. Lower the hands either side. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Just take a couple of breaths here in mountain pose. Catch your breath. Take a little drink of water if you'd like. On your next inhale, I'd like you to raise your arms up. Exhale into a lovely forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. You can step or jump back into plank or chaturanga. Lower down and come through either cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just relax for a few breaths here. On your next inhale, I'd like you to bring your right knee to your right elbow and just hold briefly before pushing your right leg back up towards the sky. Lower the foot down. Take a breath here. Then I'd like you to raise your left leg up and bring your left knee to your left elbow. Hold. Bring your left leg back up and then lower the foot down. And just breathe. Then I'd like you to take your right hand and bring it back towards your left ankle. A nice little diagonal stretch. And try to breathe. Your gaze should be up at your own armpit. Bring your hand back to the front of your mat. Take your left hand and bring it to your right ankle. Hold. Release the hand. From this downward dog position, I'd like you to step or jump to the front of your mat. Come to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise the arms up either side of the ears, up overhead, and lean back, pushing your hips forward for a little baby back bend. Exhale, lower the arms. And just relax here in mountain pose. So we're going to work on some balance positions now. So first of all, we're going to work on tree positions. Some of you might already be familiar with this. So I'd like you to take your weight into your left foot. And you're going to take your right foot and place it either on your ankle, near your shin, or on your inner thigh. Just not at the knee, because you don't want to put any pressure on your knee in that direction. And then just bring your hands to prayer position in front of your chest. That's going to really help stabilize you. Push your hands together. And then just keep your yogic gaze or your drishti in a fixed spot in front of you, even if that's just on a speck of dust on the floor. But just something fixed, something that's not moving. And just breathe. Try to find your balance. Don't worry if you wobble. Just try again. Just relax. And if you want to hold on to something near you, that's okay too. And if you feel comfortable here, then you can raise your arms up overhead and just stretch the spine out. And just breathe. Lowering the hands back to prayer position. And if you feel comfortable here, we're going to try and come back from this position into warrior 3. Now I'm going to have to turn sideways to show you what I mean. So just bring your knee out of your tree pose in front of you. Keeping your hands in prayer position, you're going to push your foot back, keeping your leg parallel to your mat, engaging your foot, just keeping a flexion in the foot. And if you're comfortable here, you can then take your arms out either side of your ears into warrior 3. Lower your hands back down. Take a little breath. We're going to do the same on the other side. So, taking your weight into your right foot, going to take your left foot up to wherever is comfortable for you. Taking your hands into prayer position in front of the body to find your balance. Just push the hands together. Remember to breathe. Keep a soft gaze focused on something fixed. Your next inhale, if you're comfortable, you can sweep your arms up over your head. and just relax. Lower your hands again into prayer position. And we're going to try and go into warrior 3 on the other side. So if you can, just keep your leg up. Bring your knee around to the front of the body. And then you're going to push that left heel back behind you, challenging your balance, challenging your core strength. If you're comfortable, then you can take your arms out in front of you, keeping them parallel to the mat, engaging your foot, keeping that flexion in the foot. And lower yourself back down. So just stand in your mountain pose for a moment, just to reward yourself for that hard work. Just take a couple of breaths here. And then I'd like you to take your feet a little bit further than hip distance apart, probably about the width of your mat. Just a couple of feet. And if it's comfortable for you, we're going to lower ourselves down into what's called Hindi squat. So you can just wiggle the feet out. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can place something underneath your heels to raise your heels up, or you can stand on your tiptoes. And just breathe, feeling that nice opening in the hips. Place your left hand in front of your left foot, and you're going to open your right arm out to the back of the body. Gazing at your right fingers, just feeling that lovely opening in the chest. Lower the right hand down in front of the right foot. And same on the other side, you're going to open your left arm out towards the back, gazing at your left fingertips. And breathe. Lower the hand back down. And now just give yourself a chance to relax in child's pose. So you can either come to regular child's pose where your knees are close together, or if you'd like a little release in the lower spine, you can separate the knees and come into a more wide-legged child's pose. Place your forehead on the floor, and if it's comfortable for you, you can just roll your head from side to side, gently massaging your forehead. And just breathe. From your child's pose, I'd like you to come down to lie on your belly. We're going to work on some locust poses now. So just come down onto your belly with your forehead on the floor. And then placing your left hand just above where your shoulder is. You're going to put your right hand out in front of you. What we're going to do is we're going to use our back and our core strength to lift our right arm and our left leg, so alternate arm and leg, and just lift both at the same time, really engaging your glutes to raise your leg, trying to engage your lower back to lift your chest off the floor, and just hold for as long as you can, and then lower back down. We're going to do the same on the opposite side. So you're going to take your left arm out in front of you. You're going to engage your left arm. You're going to engage your right glute muscles and lift your leg off the floor. Hold. Remember to breathe. And lower back down. Now this time we're going to do it with all our limbs off the floor at one time. So whenever you're ready, put your arms out in front of you, engage your glutes and lift your legs off the floor. Feeling that engagement in the lower back. Working hard to keep ourselves off the floor. And lower back down. If you're happy with this position as it is and you don't want to take it any further, then just practice a couple more locust poses. But if you'd like to challenge yourself a little bit more, we're going to try coming into bow position. So take your ankles with your hands, squeeze your knees together, make sure your thighs are together. We're going to, almost like we're trying to stand on the ceiling, so keeping your feet parallel to the ceiling. Going to raise yourself up, raising through the chest, raising through the lower back. And just looking straight ahead. And just hold. Peeling yourself off the floor as much as you can. And lower yourself back down. Just place your head on your hands and take a couple of breaths, just rolling your head from left to right. And just breathe. Come back into child's pose, whether that's wide-legged child's pose, it's up to you. And then just come into an all fours position. We're going to take a couple of gentle cat-cow stretches here. So just dip down in the spine, inhaling as you gaze forward. And exhale as you curl your spine back into cat position, almost as if you're coming towards a child's pose, if you want a little bit more of a stretch. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And just come back to center. We're going to work on some pigeon postures now. So I'd like you to take your right knee towards your right wrist. And you're just going to scooch your left leg towards the back of your mat, keeping it parallel to the mat. Your right heel should be towards your hip bone. If you feel comfortable here, then you can hang out here, but some people like to come forward slightly, either onto their elbows or all the way down onto their arms. Whichever is comfortable for you and gives you that best stretch down the right hand side of your thigh on the outside of your leg. And just relax, take a few breaths here. Feel that welcome release in the hips and the thigh. On an inhale, raise yourself back up and take your knee back into your tabletop position. Just have a little move here. Then you're going to take your left knee towards your left wrist, scooch the right foot back. And then just again, wherever is comfortable for you, each side is different, so you might find one side feels slightly looser than the other. That's totally normal. And just come to a comfortable position where you just feel a mild discomfort down the left thigh. This is a really nice pose for people who are in sedentary jobs like myself, people who are sitting down a lot, people who drive a lot. It's also a lovely stretch for people who suffer with sciatic pain. And just breathe. Whenever you're ready, come back to all fours position and just treat yourself to one last child's pose. And then rolling yourself back into a seated position with your legs out in front of you. So So we're going to do a seated forward fold. The important thing with these is to remember to hinge at your hips rather than using your back to bend over. So on an inhale, raise your arms up either side of your ears, and then just exhale, lowering through your hips, either holding on to your legs or onto your toes, depending on how far you can reach and how long your arms are. And just breathe with every exhale. Maybe just feel yourself falling a little bit further towards your thighs. And just breathe into any tension or any areas of discomfort. Just imagine your breath going towards those areas. And on an inhale, come back to seated position. I'd like you to take your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. You're going to put your left hand on your knee. Your left hand on your right knee, and then we're just going to twist the body round to the right, trying to look behind you if you can. Just feeling that lovely twist in the lower back. And breathe. Whenever you're ready, release. And then take an inhale, raise the arms up either side of the ears, lowering yourself down towards your foot. Feeling that lovely stretch in the right hamstring. Raising yourself back up, taking both feet out in front of you. Take your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. This time we're going to twist the other way, so take your right hand to your left knee, twist the body around to your left hand side, looking over your left shoulder behind you if you can. Just feeling that lovely stretch in the spine. Keeping yourself nice and tall, pulling your crown of your head skywards, and just breathe. Slowly release yourself back to center and take an inhale, raise your arms up either side of the ears. Lower yourself down over your thigh. Feeling that lovely stretch along the back of the leg. Relax the jaw. So often I clench my jaw, so I feel like I want to remind everyone to relax their jaw. And just breathe. Raise yourself back up. Bring your legs out in front of you and just scooch to the middle of your mat. Now just lie down, but curl yourself up into a tiny little ball. So bringing your forehead towards your knees and making yourself as small as possible. And just curl up. Maybe even rock from side to side, feeling the earth massage your spine. So from here, I'd like you to just place your feet at either side of your mat with a bend in the knees. Put your arms out to your sides, and we're just going to windshield wipe the legs here. So just lowering the knees to either side, just flopping the knees back and forth like windshield wipers, feeling that lovely release in the lower spine. From here, I'd like you to either take hold of your toes with your peace fingers or the outsides of your feet, or if that's a struggle, you can just take hold of your ankles. And this pose is called Happy Baby. I'm sure you can see why. It's just a lovely release for the hips, for the lower back, Try to make sure your lower spine is in contact with the mat. And just gently pull your knees closer and closer to the earth. Just a lovely opening in the hips. Releases stress, releases tension. From here, I'd like you to place the soles of your feet together and just set your feet gently on the floor and just let the legs flop outwards. This pose is called Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle pose. It's a really lovely hip opening stretch. So often we carry a lot of our, not just physical tension, but also some emotional tension in the hip area. So this is a really lovely release for both physical and mental stress. And just breathe. Try to come back to your Ujjayi breath. And just bring your awareness inwards. If the stretch feels a little too much for you, you can bring your feet towards the end of your mat. Or if you'd like a little bit more, you can bring your feet and your heels closer to your body. Whatever feels good for you. Whenever you're ready, you just bring yourself into Shavasana, which is just a lying down pose with your palms facing upwards. Shavasana actually means corpse pose, but it's not meant in the morbid sense. It's more meant in the opportunity to be reborn as a better version of yourself than you were before. I encourage you to just lie here and relax and breathe for a few moments. You're exactly where you need to be. This is just time for yourself. Focus on your breath. Just keep your awareness inwards. And whenever you're ready, roll to your favorite side. And just take a moment to become aware of your surroundings. And I'd like you to come to a comfortable seated position at the top of your mat, keeping your eyes closed or a soft gaze. Place your hands on the floor in front of your knees. And just take a moment here to feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more centered. Taking a deep inhale, raise your arms up overhead, drawing in all the positivity you need from your practice today. And lower your hands to your heart center. And thank yourself for taking this time. I wish you love, wellness, and joy in the simple things. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.